Yeah, guys. So we will start. Any doubts, guys, on the last session? Sorry, voice slowగా ఉంది. Yeah, sure. Please share your screen. Yeah, I am stopping my screen share. Yeah, you can share it. Yeah, we are able to see. Yeah, scroll down. Scroll down. No. Top side. Little bit up. Yeah, still. There is a one text box ready. Yeah, here. Data source you can select. Snowflake. Yeah, enter. Again, click enter. Yeah. Now you can see connect Tableau to Snowflake. There is a one option, right? Yeah, click on that link. Now scroll down. Yeah, there is a driver download option, right? Click on it. Oh, again, it is coming here only. Okay, scroll down. Go to Snowflake. Scroll down. Scroll down now. Otherwise, direct. Okay. Okay, this is the option we followed, right? So, okay. So what you can do is just go to Tableau. Yeah, select the Snowflake connector. Double click. Yeah, download driver. Or there is a small icon, right? Scroll down now. Still, yeah, from here only, right? No, first one only we have to select. That is what we have done last time, right? Suresh and Sheikh. Yeah, click on that again. Oh, first he need to, no, before we begin, name the server name that you want to connect. Okay, scroll down. Driver required. Yeah, Scroll down a little bit. Yeah, guys, Suresh or Sheikh, right? So if you have like that URL, right? So can you please share with here in the chat? Go to Tableau one more time, Bharat. Again, click on that snowflake. Can you please click on that? I'm like help. Yeah, click on that. Oh, same thing, right? So it is playing. Okay, fine. So just now someone shared that URL, so you can go with that. Just open that URL. Let's see. Yeah. No. Here also it's there, so you can click on that. So first, he need to log in into console. No, right? Oh, first we have to register, then only we can able to download. Okay. Bharat, have you created account? You have created the account? Okay, then log in with your credentials. Now you have to log in, like there will be a different ID for you. So whatever the email you have registered, right? So you have to go through it. Yeah, that's what like he is searching for Snowflake registration. Yeah, welcome to Snowflake. Yeah. Yeah, it is not giving, it is not asking to enter the details as well, right? So directly it is showing like down. Yeah. Otherwise, let me do one thing from my end. So yeah, font that is data. Anyone is having that drivers downloaded one, like software, like execute. Yeah, because right. So I'm not sure like why it is not coming directly after clicking the download driver. Also, it's not coming for yeah. Please, Suresh, share with him. Okay. Yeah, sure. Bharat, if not resolved, just say after you got the driver from Suresh, right? So still the issue is not resolved. Can you please ping me so we will connect and we will resolve the issue. Okay, right. So okay. So right, guys. So actually, guys. So yesterday, last session, right? So we have scheduled one extract, right? So actually, what happened is that got failed. Okay. See, whenever any extract will fail, right? So actually now you can see I'm going to see the background tasks for extracts. Okay. So now here it is going to display like last by default it is going to display last 24 hours like whatever the extracts ran. So it is going to display the status of those. Okay. Now you can see here you can see the latest one like here it is like you can see last 24 hours. Okay. And here in the bottom side you can see you are having from December 28th to January 3rd. In December 31st, whatever the session we had, right? That is the last session. So that time, actually, we have created one extract, empty extract, and we published it and we tried to refresh from the server. So it got failed actually. Okay. The reason is now, if you want to see the reason why, actually, see, whenever you are working in support or whenever you are developing something, right? So uh, sometimes you need to look into the extracts, okay, whether it got succeeded or failed. So if the extract is failed means you have to take the necessary action on that. Means you have to resolve that issue. Okay. So first of all, how you are going to identify what is the issue? Now here you can see it is by when I keep the mouse cursor on it, so it is not showing anything. Here, instead of last 24 hours, what I'm going to select is I am going to select days. You can select last 4 days. Okay. So, but here by default, it is 24 days. It is running. So if you want, you can change it. Now here you can see the Snowflake extract which we have created, it's failed. Okay. So when you will keep mouse cursor on it, now you can see guys. So here in the bottom, in the text box, right? Whatever the text box it is appearing. 1 second guys. So I clicked on it. Yeah. Whatever you can see here, this is the error message. Task was cancelled. Tableau could not complete the extract refresh task because it exceeded the timeout limit. Generally, right? So in each server, there is a timeout limit. The default timeout is like 2 hours, 7,200 seconds. Okay. Once it reaches this threshold, automatically the extract is going to fail. Okay. The why that is going to happen is that is going to because of the data value, how much we are bringing. So here See, actually, it is failed like it is saying Tableau Online has session timeout 2 hours, which cannot be modified. Actually, it is a Tableau Online, right? So we cannot able to modify this time. Actually, if you are having a server, on-premises server, you can make it 10,800 seconds. 10,800 seconds also you can make it. But as we are using a Tableau Online, we cannot modify this time. That's 7,200, right? We cannot increase it. So if we are having Tableau on-premises server, then we could have done, means we can increase till 10,800 seconds. Okay. And to resolve this error, use one of the following options. Use live connections instead of extract. It is suggesting us like you can follow any of these. Use incremental extracts, decrease the size of the data extract, refresh the published extract using Tableau bridge. So this is not going to help us. Fourth option. So here, 3 suggestions. Instead of extract, it is asking to keep a live connection. And another option is incremental extract. So incremental extract, already we know incremental extract means it is going to append the data like newly added records into your extract file. Okay, so incremental extract also going to work. But already here, in our case, already we are having millions of data in our table. So how we can do the incremental extract? So actually in these situations, right? So whatever the issue I have faced in my project, in that case, what we have done is, so for example, let me tell you the steps. Actually, I have connected with my database team, DBA team. So for example, let's assume like you are having like 2010 to, so you are having the data from 2010 to like 2021. Okay. So here you can assume like, for example, this is the data value and like it is increasing almost. Okay, let's assume it is increasing. Okay, so here now if we'll sum up everything, right? So one time if you are trying to load, the extract is failing. So in this case, what we can do is we can connect with our ETL team and we can ask them to there will be a backup tables, guys, history tables. There will be a backup, or we can call it history tables. So actually they are going to remove this whatever the reporting table, right? So whatever we have connected to Tableau, that table, right? So they are going to take the backup and they are going to delete the data. Okay, after that they are going to load first 1 year or 2 years data. Okay, means now whenever after deleting, right? So the table, okay, the table is going to have, for example, this much data. Okay, means like let's assume this is the data. Okay, so with this we can able to extract. So after that what they are going to do is here, whenever you are here, right? So whenever after connecting to this table, we are having only this much data. Now what we have to do is we have to create a incremental extract. Incremental extract. So once the data load is complete, they are going to tell you, so you are going to run this incremental extract, you are going to refresh it from server, then your extract is going to have this many records. Now again, they are going to load another 2 years data or 1 year data. Now it is going to have another, for example, another this much data. Now what we are going to do is we are going to run this extract. Then your extract is going to have total this many records. Okay, this way like year by year or based on that, right? So they are going to split the data before loading into final reporting table, and we are going to run this extract incrementally. So this is how we are going to, because already the data is exists in our database table. So that's where we are going to follow these steps. If let's assume you don't have a data initially, only you are having only few only this much data, then you can that time itself you can create an incremental extract. This time full refresh also it is going to work, because we are already having a huge set of data in your table. So that's why we are going to connect with our ETL team or DBA team, right? Whoever is going to support. Okay, we are going to follow this approach. Okay, from next time onwards, right? So after loading all this data, right? Let's assume like the day like January 1st, 2022. Now, like it may be like, for example, let's assume like 10,000 records. Now, these 10,000 records easily after, as per the schedule, incremental refresh is going to work. So these 10,000 records is going to added into your extract. So this is how it is going to work. Now, from now onwards, this extract is not going to fail. Okay. And one more thing, right? So whenever any extract will fail, you are going to get a one mail alert. Okay. Now let me show you the mail alert. So this is the mail alert. So now you can see, guys. So this is no reply, Snowflake extract refresh failed. So now you can see this is the message, like whatever the message you have seen, right? So the same message it is displaying here. This is how you are going to get it. And one more thing, if sometimes, right? So as per your subscription, you can subscribe it like or else, right? So if you do not subscribe, then you are not going to get these alerts. Okay, so another way how you can check it, whether like instead of you no need to go to like till this level. Okay, how you can check it directly, you can go to here. Okay, if you are going to monitor Tableau site level also, so you have to check this option. This is the alerts option. Okay, sorry, notifications option. So see notifications, once you will click on this notification, now you can see here the notification is showing data source is out of date. Snowflake extract means it got failed. So you have to take care of these ones. All the notifications, if any schedules will fail or something will happen, right? So mostly schedules, like if any workbook schedule fail or data source schedule will fail, so you are going to get a alert notification here. So you have to monitor this, and after this you can go and you can check the background tasks for extracts. Okay, if you are going to monitor server also, means extracts, workbooks, whatever it may be. Okay, you have to be notice this option. Okay, notifications option, bell icon, right guys? So after that, right, so I have converted into live connection. So live connection, what I have done is just go to explore. So these options may not be available in on-premises server. So it is a Tableau Online. So that's where we are having this option. So now here, right, so what I have done is already I converted into a live connection. So what you can do is just go here. Now here you can see data is live connection. So you can click on this drop down and you can select the extract. So created one extract creation job. Now again it is trying to fetch the data from server. Now if you go to see this background tasks for extract, now it is trying to fetch the data from database. Again it is going to fail. See, now it is started running. Okay, this is how you have to monitor, guys. Okay, see guys, some more things like once I will come to, right, so I will explain you few more issues will come. Okay, so I will show you like a few more examples, like when the extract will fail. Now in this case, guys, so either you have to work with your database, as I said, right, ETL team, or if you are using on-premises server, just try to increase the execution time, runtime. Okay, you have to increase. Like here it is showing now 9001 seconds. Now it is going to run 9001 seconds. After that, it may fail. Okay, if it will succeed before these many seconds, right? Fine. So if it is not, means like we can't do anything. So we have to go with the extracts, whatever like this suggested. Okay, either live or extract. Fine. Is it clear, guys? Always the failures, like whatever will fail, right, the extract, it is going to show in red color. Okay, succeeded ones it is going to show in blue color, the running ones it is going to show in a green color, and it is a pending one, so it is showing the gray color. Okay, fine. So guys, so today, right, so we are going to learn the calculations. So we are going to start with the calculations, because, right, so I am not going to connect with this. Okay, just I am closing this connection. Now I am going to connect to the file. So sample superstore for now. So to explain you the calculation part. Okay, see now I have connected to the orders table. Now guys, so actually the calculation types, we are having different types of calculations. Okay, so like first one is basic expressions. So in the basic expressions, we are going to have like first one is in the basic expressions, we are going to have row level calculations. And another one is aggregation level. Aggregation, or we will call it as a group level calculations. And the another type is like LODs. LOD. So LOD, we will call it as a level of detail expressions. Okay. In LOD, in this, right, so row level calculations, aggregate level calculations, right? So we are having a lot of functions. Functions in the sense like we can say like min, max, sum, like yeah, like date conversion, like conversion functions. So a lot of functions is available. But in LOD calculations, right, in level of detail expressions, mainly we are having only 3 functions. One is a fixed, the second one is include, and the third one is exclude. So these are the 3 functions we are having. So in interviews also, the people will ask what are the different types of LOD functions available in Tableau. So you have to be clear on these functions. Means you have to remember all these 3 function names. Okay. And the third type of calculation is table level calculations. Table calculations. So these are the 3 different types of calculations available in Tableau. Okay. So now first we will see the basic level calculations or basic expressions. So first one is row level calculations. So row level calculations means, see, name is suggesting row level. Row level means these calculations is going to be performed on each and individual row. Means each and individual row means, see now what is the data source we have connected to orders database, orders table, which we are having in our file, right? So orders table I have connected. So now let me open that file. So my Tableau repository, so data sources. So here sample superstore. So this is the file we are using now. Now guys, so orders table we have connected. Now guys, you can see this is a one row, this is another row, this is another row. Now the calculation is going to be performed on each and individual row. Okay, so now for example, if let me give one simple example here. Okay, now guys, so let's take any postal code or something. Let me try what is the data we are having in postal code. Oh, it is a numbers. Okay. Okay. Last time, right? So we have done some split function, right? So the same way, now the split operation, how it performed, guys? The split operation, like each and individual row it performed, right? So now, right? So for example, I think order product ID, I think we have taken. Now, whenever we have done split, right? So what happened? So it is going to perform on a single row and it is going to extract the output, whatever is the desired output, right? Means in simple way, we can say row level calculations is going to be performed on each and individual row of the data. Okay, that is going to be performed data source level. Means this is going to be performed in this data source level. In the data source level, how the data will be? Data will be in each and individual row wise. The data will be available in each and individual row wise. So that's where the row level calculations is going to be applied on data source level. Okay, so now see, now for example, now I am going to show one simple thing. So first I am going to write a one calculation. As I said, to write any calculation, we can get calculation window by clicking the drop down arrow which is available here. Here you can see, once I will click on this drop down arrow, now you can see we are having a create calculated field option. Okay, and the another option is you can go to analysis menu and you can click on create calculated. Or one more thing, what you can do is you can right click on this white space. You can right click on this white space, then you can get create calculated field option. Whatever the option you can choose, you are going to get same window. This is the window you are going to get. Yeah, as I said, right? So if you don't have this, like if you are not able to see the functions in the right side, right? So you have to click on this arrow mark. Whatever is available in the center of this text box, right side center, you have to click on this. Once you click on it, here you can see the different functions which is available in Tableau. Fine. Now guys, so here already, as I said already, the calculation fields are a custom fields. Okay, we are going to create to show the data which is not available in the data source. Means, for example, why we need to create a calculations actually. See, if from in the database, if we are having all the data, whatever is required for the end user, if they are going to do modifications in the database table, then what is the purpose of creating and custom fields creation, right? If, for example, if the data is not available, means the customer is looking for some value. Okay, that value we are going to get by adding two fields or by subtracting one field from another field. Okay, if those kind of things we have to do, like if we are going to do those kind of things, right, in Tableau level, we are going to use these calculations actually. See, those type of things, for example, sales minus profit. Okay, let's example. Okay, the customer want to say this output. Now, right, so if these values, whatever the output we are going to get by doing this operation, whatever we are going to do, this is not going to be available in your database. If this, whatever, like a simple way, what we can say is, we want to display the data which is not available in the database, then we are going to create a calculations. Means whatever the calculations we are writing, we are not going to manipulate any data, guys. We are not going to manipulate any data. Just we are going to show that data. Okay, whatever the customer is expecting, we are going to show the data by applying different functions. Okay, so those functions we are going to use in these calculations. These calculations are custom fields in Tableau. Okay, here you can see, here it is showing like calculation one. So for this, whatever the name you want to provide, whatever the name you want to display to the end user, so you are going to give the name for this field. Okay, now here I am going to give row level calculation. Okay, I am giving just row level calculation. So guys, so here in simple way, just what I am going to do is, guys, ratio, how to calculate the ratio? Guys, I want to calculate the ratio of sales and profit. So now what I am going to do is sales divided by profit I am going to do. So now it is going to give the ratio, right? Now here, see, I have given the name for my field, custom field means calculation, and this is the calculation what I have written. And you can see here you have to remember, you have to keep name, and this name should be like user friendly names, case user friendly names. And also, right, so whatever the name you are going to provide it, so this should be understandable by others. You should be, it should give some meaning, right? And also here, whatever the calculation you are going to write, so it is going to how you are going to validate means, here it is going to display whether the calculation is valid or not. Means the format means whatever, for example, here if you click on this, right, so whatever the expressions, logics, whatever it is, right, you are going to use in a proper manner or not. If you are using in a proper manner, then it is going to display the calculation is valid. If you are not using properly the functions or anything, whatever it may be, conditions, right, so it is going to throw an error. Okay, now for example, I will show you simple example. Now you can say I'm going to give sales by sum of profit. So here, guys, now you can see the calculation is showing an error. So you can see it is showing red color. It is not showing the calculation is valid. And also here you can see there is a one small red line. So if you keep mouse cursor on top of it, now you can see the error message. Cannot mix aggregate and non-aggregate arguments with this function. So guys, this is the common error message in Tableau. If you are not using specific functions, means like if you are not doing proper aggregation. Okay, and you can see here there is a one small arrow mark, the table calculation, the calculation contains error. Once you will click on this drop down, here also you are going to get an error, cannot mix aggregate and non-aggregate arguments with this one. Okay, so this is the error message you got. Okay, this way the error messages you are going to get. Okay, so I will explain you. So what is the issue, what is it and everything. So now even you can see one closing braces is there. There is a no open brace. So now for this also you can see syntax error. Maybe you are missing an operator. So it is going to throw, like if it is not properly ended, like if you are not closing the brackets, and if you are using functions, different functions in different places, if that is not satisfied the condition, then you are going to get the errors. Okay, so once I will remove this one, the calculation is going to be valid. Okay, so guys, now I have created this one. Now I am clicking on OK. So once I will click on OK, here you are having apply and OK. Apply means what is going to happen is, if already you are having a report, okay, if already you are having a report, once you will click on apply, without closing this calculation window, this formula, whatever you have written, right, so it is going to display here. The result is going to be displayed here. Once you will click on OK, right, the result is going to display and the window is going to be closed like this. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, guys, so I'm going to drag the category here. I have dragged the category and some more thing, right? So I am going to drag the subcategory here. Okay. And I am going to drag the profit. I'm going to drag the profit. So here I am going to make discrete and I am going to drag guys. So here I want to display, for example, here profit is there. Okay, let me do one thing. So here I am going to drag profit, sales. I want to use it. So when I will use profit and sales here, now you can see automatically, as we know, right? So all the measures is continuous fields. It is going to generate an axis. So here the axis has been generated. Now here I want to display in a cross tab. Now you can see, guys, so once I will go to show me, if I'll click on this text tables, what is going to happen is, now here it is, see, automatically it is organized. And you can see the measure names in column shelf and filter shelf and measure values in text in under mocks card. So we haven't dragged this measure values, measure names. Automatically, these three fields, these two fields added into your visualization. Okay. I will explain you this, why it is adding. So what is the main purpose of this? I will explain you. Okay. But before that, I'm going to display this. I'm going to explain this row level calculation, how it is going to work. Now, here you can see you are having sale, profit and sales. Now we have created the row level calculation. Guys, already I said the calculations is going to be prefix with equal to. Now you can see before this hash symbol, there is a one small equal symbol. All the calculations is, in all the calculations you can find the equal symbol. Okay. Now I want to display this row level calculation value also in my visualization. Now what I'm going to do is just I'm going to drag and drop here. Okay, just I'm going to keep in measure values box. Once I will drop this one, now the value is going to display here. Now you can see it is displaying, the values were displaying here. Now I want to like make one order, like I want to show sales in first place, profit in second place, then this one. So what I'm going to do is directly you, by holding the mouse control, you can change the position of it. So now you can see sales came in first place, profit, then a row level calculation. Okay. So now, is this value, whatever it is showing, is it correct or not? Okay. So for that, what we have done? We have done sales divided by profit. Simple thing. Just I have opened the calculator. So here 114,880 divided by, so 3473, right? 3473. So here it is showing like 33.07, but here you can see it is showing 296. Okay, so let me see one more. 328,449 divided by 26590. Here you can see it is showing 12.35, but here you can see minus 750. So what values it is displaying? As per my understanding, I have used sales divided by profit only, but why I am getting different values, right? So the row level calculations, as I said, the data is in lower granularity, guys. No, the data which we are showing in high granularity, right? In high granularity, we are showing like category wise, subcategory wise. But in the data source order, how the data is going to be? Data is going to store in a each and individual row wise. Now this is a like aggregated data, right? This is the aggregated data. And one more thing, if you'll observe here, row level calculations, what we said, the row level calculations is going to be performed on data source level, correct? Not on the visualization level. This, whatever the value it is displaying here, it is not calculated on the visualization level. It is calculated on the data source level. Means data source level means how the data in the data source level. The data in the data source level is this way. Means now you can see here, if I will select this order date, right? So C, column C, now you can see the total column rows will be available here 9,995. This many rows is available. Okay. Now here the individually, right? So individually the each row by row the calculation is going to perform. Now what does it mean by each and individual row by row? Now for example, we are going to check for only one. Okay. Now I am going to check for category furniture and bookcases. Okay. I want to validate this data, how it is calculating. So now I'm going to, in Excel file, I am going to select furniture. Then after that, from subcategory bookcases, I am going to select in the Excel file. Now here, I am going to apply the filter. So now here, furniture, I am going to select furniture. Okay. After that, I am going to select the bookcases. Now you can see with this, right? So I got like 229 records, 229 rows I have. So now let's scroll to right side. Now here you are having sales and profit. You are having sales and profit. So what I am going to do is, guys, so here I am going to create a one more new column. Here I am going to mention like sales divided by profit. So this is the column name I am going to keep. So here sales divided by profit means here equal to sales divided by profit, right? So once I will click on enter, now you can see it is displaying 6.25. Is this value correct? So now let me check it. So now here 261.96 divided by 41.9136. 6.25, whatever it is displaying, correct. Guys, these calculations just to understand purpose how the calculations is going to work. So to explain purpose only, just I am doing, I am explaining in detail. Otherwise, no need to explain in detail. You are not going to do in this much detail. Okay. For understanding purpose, just I am explaining how the row level calculations is going to be calculated. Now, guys, so I am applying to all these 221 rows. Okay. Here, now you can see, guys, so I got all the data. Okay. Now you can see this is also like it is going to be this one, this one divided by this one. Now you are going to get this one. Now I want to do the sum of this sales versus sales divided by profit. So now what I am going to do is here I am going to apply the sum equal to sum of, so sum of all this. Okay, close this one, enter. Oh, sorry, this one. Okay, so here sum of, I am going to select this value, comma, this value, right? So guys, so here I am going to get 0.58. I think it's wrong. So here we have to apply the column, guys. Okay, now it is going to work. Okay, so okay, guys. So what I will do is just I am going to select from here to, by holding the shift control key, just I am clicking here. Now you guys can see, guys. So here 220 count is 228, but what is, okay, so why it is not displaying here? This one? No. Okay. Yeah, I right click. Sum is already there, right? Okay, so okay, actually it is what is applied here? Okay. Equal to whatever I am doing correct, right? Sum number one. So here no, actually, yeah, in between there is a hidden columns, right? So that's why it is not showing properly. So here you can see this is the one it is displayed. Okay. Yeah, actually, once you will select this way, right? Yeah, now it is displaying. Let me show. Let me. Array. Control C. Let me do one thing. So let's go back. Let me paste it. Count only it is displaying. So why? Due to native values. So that is not a problem, right? See, now it is displaying, but when I am selecting more, it is not. Why? Okay. I don't know this. So, okay, let me display here itself. Okay. In Tableau itself, let me show you. So here row ID, order ID. So row ID, if I will take row ID, that is fine. Okay. Let me go to Tableau. So I am going to drag a row ID. So if I will drag row ID, it is going to display total records 9,994. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is here I am going to take the bookcases, category, right? So category is furniture. Whatever I'm doing, just I'm going to select category as a furniture, and I'm going to add the same field into rows. Okay. Now you can see it is displaying 2121 rows. Now we need to add one more filter, right? So subcategory, and subcategory I'm going to select bookcases. Now we are getting 228, whatever it was displaying in our Excel. Right. Now, guess like again, I want to take sales and profit, right? So I am going to take sales and profit, and I am going to select the table. Now you can see I got the sales and profit for bookcases. So I am going to keep row ID in first place, then furniture bookcases. Okay, so now, right, so here this is the data what we are getting. Okay. Here, for example, let me sales profit. Okay. And here, right, so in the Excel, let me check any one. Okay. So here 3083.43 1665.05. So already I think we are displaying here only. Okay. 3083, but it is not showing in points, so decimal places, because it's round up. So I want to show in a decimal places. So what I'm going to do is just I'm going to select this measure values and format, and I'm going to make it number custom, and here I'm going to increase the decimal places. So this is how it is displayed, right? 0522. If you'll go to Excel, so here 05. Okay, this is how it is displaying. Now you can see the sales divided by profit, it is displaying minus 1.851. Okay, minus 1 point. Okay, so now here whatever the calculation we have written, it is what the same we have done in the Excel file as well. So now what I am going to do is same calculation I am going to drop it here. Now you can see the same it is displaying. Is it correct, guys? Now if we will do sum, okay, sum of all these things, so what is going to happen? Let's see. Let's to apply the totals, what I am going to do is you can go to analytics pane and you can drag the totals. I am going to add the grand totals. Now you can see the grand totals is applied here. Now you can see 295.8286. Now you can see here the value whatever it is displaying, it is same 296. If here also if you'll convert into like points, right? So format, let's go to custom, the same value you are going to get 295.829. 295.829. Once we'll round off, right? Here we are displaying 4 digits, 4 characters after this 4 decimal places. Now guys, so if you can see here 114879 and 3472. Here it is same. It is aggregated value, whatever it is displaying same, but this row level calculation, how it is calculated 295. It is, see, generally how it is calculated means, first of all, what it is going to row level calculations means each and individual row it is going to calculate. So that's why, for example, let me add product name as well. So product name. Guys, now see, we are having different products under bookcases, right? So this product is having this much sales and the profit is this much. Means each and individually product level in bookcases, each and individual product level, it is going to perform sales divided by profit. Sales divided by profit. Then whatever the output we are getting for each and individual record, right? Finally, it is going to do the aggregation, sum. Then, right, so we are getting the value. This is the value what we are getting, 295.8286. Means the calculation is performed in each and individual row level in the data source, and finally the result is aggregated. The calculation is performed individually for each row in the data source, and whenever we are using that field in the visualization, it is aggregating. Now you can see here, it is sum of row level calculation. Sum, it is aggregated sum. But you can see sum of sales, sum of profit. The default aggregation is Tableau. The default aggregation in Tableau is sum. Have you guys understood like how it is calculating? First, the calculation is happening at the data source level. After that, it is aggregating here. This calculation, sales divided by profit, is performing on the data source level. Data source level means for each individual row, the calculation is performing, and whatever the output we are getting for each and individual row, finally we are aggregating in the Tableau level. So that's why we are getting this value. Is it understand, guys? Like otherwise, can I prepare one small Excel file with 10 records? Okay. Now, guys, so now let me show you here. See, for example, as I said, right? So it is a like by default aggregation is by default aggregation in Tableau is sum, right? Now let me create another calculation. Okay, I am going to click on this, create a calculated field. Here I am going to give a group or aggregated calculation. Guys, aggregation means now here you can see whatever the measures you have dragged, sales and profit, it's aggregated, right? Sum means it's aggregation, means aggregation is happened, means how it is aggregating means furniture bookcases. Now it is going to take whatever the dimensions we are using here. It is going to take furniture, under furniture it is going to take the bookcases, and it is going to sum up all the things. Now if you'll go to Excel file, now if you'll click on this, now you can see 114879. This is the sum of all bookcases under furniture. This is the total sales. And if you click on the profit, this is the total profit minus 3472. This is the total profit, and this is the total sales. Means here we are not displaying the data in each and individual record wise. The data we are using in this category and subcategory level. This is the granularity what we are displaying in the visualization. So based on these dimensions what we are using in the visualization, automatically the data is going to be aggregated. Okay, that's where we are getting only the total values for sales and profit for under furniture bookcases. Okay, now here what I'm going to do is I'm going to use aggregation function like sum of sales divided by sum of profit. So this is the calculation I am using. So now what is the difference between earlier calculation and this calculation? Earlier, what is the calculation we have written? The earlier calculation is sales divided by profit. So what is the difference between both? See, whenever you are using aggregation, either sum or minimum, maximum, average, whatever it may be. So the data is going to be here in the calculation, it is going to use the aggregated data. Now here in this case, what it is going to get is, for example, let's take a bookcases. So it is going to get 114,880 divided by minus 3,473. And then it is going to give this value. Now, if we'll take this one, what is going to happen? Like we are having 228 records. Out of 228 records, each and individual row, whatever the profit we are getting, like whatever the ratio we are getting. So first it is displaying each and individual 228 records, it is calculating, and finally it is aggregating and displaying the data. So that is what we are getting, 295 something, 295.829. So this is the data we are getting. Okay, so now let's see what is going to display in this case. Okay, now if you want, right, so I am going to delete this one. So if you want, you can comment this one, guys. So you to comment backslash. So now this is the calculation, just I'm clicking OK. Now let's add this calculation and keep it here. Now you can see, guys, so it is a sum, means the calculation is the calculation, whatever the calculation we have written, that is a row level calculation that is going to be applied on the data source data, and whenever we are using into Tableau level, that is going to be aggregated. The aggregation is sum. Now whatever the calculation we have written, now I am going to drag into here. Now let's see. Now I dragged it. Now you can see, guys, so it is showing AGG, means aggregated, means the data. Now this calculation is performed on the visualization level, not on the data source level. Now visualization level means, now here visualization level means, guys, so already the data is displaying in this aggregated data. Now this value is, this value, how we are getting the calculation, whatever the calculation we have performed, this is going to be performed on the available data, aggregated data. That's why we are getting 33% here, which is correct actually. Okay, this is basically wrong. So even customer will see, right? So customer, we are showing the data like 114,880 -3. When he will calculate, he's going to expect this one, not this one, right? Always, whatever we are going to do the calculations, it is going to be at the aggregated level, not on the individual row level. Actually, individual row level calculations means how it is going to be, means like, for example, the split operation. Okay, let me show you one example. Now, here, right? So let me, yeah, as I said, right? So we'll take product, like, otherwise we will take customer name. Okay. Now, the customer want to display instead of full name. Let's assume this is a full name. Now, instead of full name, just the end user want to see the only the last name. End user want to see the last name. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to split this one. Once we will split this one, what is going to happen? Guys, once we will split this one, so what is going to happen? The data is going to be the calculation, whatever the split operation we are performing, it is going to be applied on each and individual row, correct? If you'll group also, it is not going to affect. Let me show you. So now, just I am going to apply split. I am going to use calculation field. So here I am going to use split. So split of string, customer name, I am going to use comma, and I am going to, what is the separator here? So I am going to use this space. Okay, empty space I am going to use, then comma 2. Let's see what is going to happen. So I'm going to mention last name. Okay, so let's click on OK. So this is the last name. Now let's click here. Now here you can see, guys, so I got the last name. Now guys, so is this how it is performed? The Bergman, right? So it is coming from this row only, right? Customer name, this row only. Now you can see here 793 rows by 1 column, means out of 9,994 rows, only we are having 793 customers, total customers. If I will add the row ID also, you can see the same customers will repeat multiple times. Now you can see multiple times the same customer is repeating. Means this is the calculation is happened on each and individual row. Okay, guys. So is it understandable, guys? In this case, you can go with the whenever if you are going to do something in the string fields, right? Then you can go. But whenever you are calculating something, right? So you have to use aggregation, guys. So here, whenever you will write the aggregation, see, aggregation means always remember, whenever you are going to write any calculation, you have to use sum. So whenever you will use sum, right? So the granularity, in the visualization level, whatever the granularity you are using, based on this granularity, automatically the calculation is going to be performed. Means this calculation, this group level or aggregate level calculations are going to be performed on the visualization level, not on the data source level. Remember that point. Okay. So that's where even, right? So for example, even, right? So here, even, right? So if you'll go here, minus 12.149, it is displaying something, right? So here also I will show same data name. Even here also, I'm going to show same data. Just I'm going to apply a category as a furniture, and here subcategory I'm going to show as a bookcases, and I am going to add. Now you can see, guys, the same data, right? Now what I'm going to do is this row level calculation and group level calculation is going to be same when I will show this. I will show the data at low granularity. Okay. Now I am going to add the row ID here. Now let's see. Now, guys, now you can see this value. Now it is a let me format and let me show the decimal places for this 4. Yes. Now you guys can see, guys, is there any difference between row level and aggregate level calculation? Are you guys able to find any difference? No, because there won't be any difference, because this group level or aggregated level calculations is going to be performed based on the dimensions whatever we are using on the visualization. Okay. Now 262 divided by 42, this is going to give this value. If you are going to remove this one, now the calculation is going to be performed this one divided by this one, aggregate level calculation. But row level calculations is not going to be performed at the visual level. It is going to be performed on the data source level. That is the difference between row level calculations and aggregate level calculations. Okay. Always you have to remember, whenever you are writing a calculation, you have to mention the aggregation type in the calculation before the measure values. Is it clear? Is it clear, guys? Any confusion? Right. Now, one more thing, same way. For example, here already I have shown you, right? So here different customers. Now, I want to display each customer wise how many orders he made. Okay, each customer wise orders. Now, for example, if you'll say, right, so order, it's order ID. Yeah, I'm going to take the order ID here. Now you guys can see, guys. So here, RN Bergham. So here he made 3 orders, and Hawkins, you can see, okay, different 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 orders like this, different orders. Okay, this is the individual row wise data, correct? It is the individual row data. Now I want to display the number of orders for each customer. I want to display the number of orders by each customer. Now what I have to do? I have to take the count, right? I have to take the count. Now, if I will take the count, what is going to happen? Now, for example, now I am going to, for example, I am going to write a one calculation here. So here, number of orders by customer. Each customer, how many orders placed. So I want to know. So now in this case, what I am going to do is we are having count and count distinct functions. So what is a count and what is a count distinct means? Count means it is going to count the number of records, including the duplicates. For example, this customer Begum, so he is the order like CA2017-152905. Okay, here you can see 3 individual orders. There is a no duplication. Let's assume if he is having one more order, like here you are getting 4 records with the same as first one. The second one also same as first one. Then with his name, you are going to get 4 records. If you use count function in that case, it is going to display 4 records. It is not going to eliminate the duplicates. Count function is not going to eliminate the duplicates. It is going to count all the records, whatever is available. In the case of count distinct, what is going to happen is, if it finds any duplicates, it is going to eliminate that one, and the remaining it is going to count. Means unique records only it is going to fetch. Count distinct. Okay, so we are having 2 functions, count and count distinct. So I'm going to use count distinct. Okay, see count function. Now if you want to see the details, right, so here you can see count expression returns the number of items in a group. Null values are not counted. Means, for example, if it is having any nulls, it is not going to count. Okay, now count distinct. For example, count D I mentioned means, so what it is going to display, now you can see it has the number of distinct items. Distinct means it is going to eliminate the duplicates, then remaining it is going to count. So that is the difference. That is the difference between both. Now I am going to use count D function because I don't want to count the duplicate order IDs. Okay, now here I am going to mention what I need to count, number of orders. So I am going to use order ID. Now you can see the calculation is valid. Now I am going to click on OK. Now if I will use this here, now you can see it is going to display each customer how many orders he placed. It is going to display discrete. Now you can see 111 it is displaying because we are in individual level. Now if I will remove the order ID, now you can see here 3 orders, 7 orders, 7, 10, 10 like this. So now you can see this is how we are going to get each customer wise number of orders. Is it clear, guys? This is a aggregated one. This is a aggregated. Now you can see this is a aggregation calculation. Okay. Guys, is it clear? Now, for example, here, yes, we can. Okay, now like split, right? So whatever we have got written, right? So split. What is the calculation we have written? Yeah, last name, right? Yeah. So edit. So first name, last name means already for one thing, last name we have written, right? So first name, if you want to display with the different header, right? So then what you can do is you have to create a one more calculation, or you can duplicate this one. You don't need to just duplicate. Now here you can edit this one. Okay, guys, edit option will come only for calculated fields. Okay. Hello, guys, tell me, are you guys able to hear me? Someone, I think. Okay. So now here I am going to keep 1. With 1 I am okay. Okay, fine. So 1 I am keeping. Let's see how it is going to work. So here we have to rename it first name. Okay. So automatically this is going to be renamed. Okay. Now, first name, I am going to drag it here. Let's see what it is going to display. Yeah. Is this what we are expecting, right? Right. So this way. 1, 2 we can. Okay. Here, comma, with comma, if you want, we can. So, but if you want to display with the 2 different columns, first name, last name, then that is not possible. That's what I'm telling. Here, one header for first name and last name with the another header, right? Yeah, that's where we are going to create 2 calculation fields. If you want to display in one, what you can do is just edit. Okay. Here, split custom one. And here you have to use concatenation function. Here concatenation function means plus symbol. Okay, plus, and here if you want to give comma, right, just comma and colons close means this is a string, guys. Comma is a string, so that's why I'm keeping in double quotes. Then after that plus symbol, then split customer name, comma, again space, right, space, comma 2. This is the calculation. Just click on apply. Now you can see here already in first name only we are doing. If I will click on apply, the window, the calculation window is not going to close and the changes is going to be applied on this first name. Now you can see apply. So this is how you are going to get. Okay. So whatever the way you want, right? So you can like concatenate by using this plus symbol. You have to remember, guys. So plus. Right. If you want to keep anything, right? So instead of comma, you can, if you want to use any special characters, you can use it. Okay. And if you want to give space, for example, if you want to give space, now, for example, let's click on apply. Now you can see there is a no space, right? If you want to apply the space here, if you want to give space, you can enter. And at the right side, if you want to give the space, you can enter. Now, if you click on apply, now you can see the space between first name and last name. Okay. This is how you can use the concatenation. Whatever you are mentioning in the string, right, in the colons, you have to, if you want to provide the space, you can mention here. Okay. Right. Any doubts, guys, in this? So now whatever we have written, right, so it's a basic calculations, guys. It's a basic calculation. Okay. Now, guys, so here, for example, fine here. Okay, one more thing. Okay, fine. So are you guys clear about row level calculations and aggregate level calculations? Okay, fine. Now, guys, so I am going to give brief introduction about LOD calculations. But LOD calculations, right? So I am going to explain in detail when we are actually going to work on the some scenarios. Okay. Now, just how it is going to work. Just I am going to give brief introduction. Okay. So, guys, what is the main purpose of LOD calculations? First of all, level of detail. Means, guys, so for example, now let's see, I have a one visualization, guys. My visualization is, let's assume subcategory and profit I am displaying. Okay, just I have one bar graph. Okay, guys, now my visualization is in which granularity? Subcategory wise data, my visualization displaying the data, correct? Subcategory wise, my visualization is showing the data. Am I correct? Now, actually, the requirement is I want to display the total on each category. Now, in this visualization, I want to display whatever the data. Here, I want to display each subcategory wise. Sorry, each category wise. For example, let me go to another, and here I am going to drag category, and I'm going to drag the profit. Okay. Here, this is the furniture profit and office supplies profit and technology profit. Here in the sheet 5, here I have a data on the subcategory wise. Now here my requirement is I want to include this furniture sales, sorry, furniture profit, like total furniture profit in this visualization. Now here profit is divided based on the subcategory. Now I want to display along with this, for example, let me drag the category here. Now you can see furniture, blue color, and office supplies technology. Okay. Now I want to make it orange. Okay. So now I am going to sort it down. Let's see. Yeah. Now here, guys, so let's see technology. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 I am having. Now in this technology, if you will sum up all the things, now you can see I am going to select by holding the control key. I am selecting. Sorry, not the office of technology. Yeah. Now you can see, guys, so if I will select, okay, so many are there, right? Only 4. Now I am selecting these 4. Now you can see the total is sum of profit is 1,45,455. Now whatever I can say here, this is the same, right? Now what my requirement is here, along with this individual subcategory sales, I want to display the total sales as well. How we can display it? Right? Have you got my point? Like what is my requirement? Along with this individual profit, I want to display the total profit. Now already anyhow I have given the labels. Now for example, if I will drag the profit into labels again, now you can say it is displaying same value only. It is not going to change because based on, see, whatever the measure value you are going to display here. For example, like this, I'm going to drag the profit into labels. Now you can see the same values. Guys, always remember the values, the measure values, how it is going to display means based on the dimensions, based on the dimension, the values, the measure values is going to be distributed accordingly. So in these situations, without changing without LOD functions, when we are going to use, without changing the granularity of the visualization, this is the definition, guys. Without changing the granularity of the visualization, if we want to include or exclude particular dimensions from the view, then we are going to use LOD functions. Without changing the granularity means I don't want to change this granularity. I want to display the visualization as it is, but I want to display the values based on different dimension. Are you guys clear what I am trying to say? Without changing the visualization, this is the visualization what I am displaying to the end user. Now the customer want to see the same visualization, but whatever the values we are showing here, it should be based on different dimension. So in these kind of situations, we are going to use level of detail functions. We are going to create level of detail expressions. Now, let me show you how we are going to use that one. Now, as per our requirement, I am going to display the total profit here. Now, let me create a one calculated field. So here I am going to use just LOD. Here in LOD, like, yeah, I am going to use fixed LOD. Okay, fixed LOD function. So we, as I said, right, so we are having different LOD functions. One is a fixed, and the second one is include, and third one is exclude. Okay, these are the 3 different functions. Now out of 3, I'm going to use LOD function. Now means I want to fix the value based on 1. So now I am going to use fixed. Now you can see, guys, when I type FIX, now you have this one. Guys, one more thing, the syntax of this LOD expressions is going to start with flower braces. Whatever you are going to write, so it is in between this flower braces one. Okay, normal calculations, you no need to mention these flower braces. Wherever you can see the calculation in between flower braces, then It means the value is fixed. Means you are using not value is fixed. You are using some LOD expressions, either fixed, include or exclude. So just simply guess. So what I am trying is here, fixed I am using, fixed. This is a syntax guess. Whatever you are using, either fixed, include, exclude. This is the syntax. Now you can see fixed, dimension 1, dimension 2, dimension 3, so on. Means here our dimension is what value we have to display. We have to display at category level, correct? So then I'm going to select the category dimension, category. Now after that, we have to use colon. Now after that, we need to mention sum of profit. Means guys, here one more thing you have to remember. Always, whenever you are writing any LOD function, either include, exclude, fixed, whatever the function you are using, right? After this colon, always whatever you are using, it should be aggregated. In the LOD calculations, always after this colon, you have to aggregate this data. If you are not aggregating, means it is not going to validate. So let me show you. Now you can see the error message. You can see the error message is results of level of detail expressions must be an aggregate. Always it should be aggregate. If you are not using aggregate function, it is not going to valid. Always you have to use aggregation here. So I'm going to use sum. Now the calculation is going to be valid. Now here, now I'm going to click on apply. Okay. Now you can see guys, fixed LOD. Now if I will drag this one into labels, now let's see here. Now here you can see 145,545. Is it displaying the data correct? The data, whatever the data it is displaying, is it correct or not, guys? See, for this technology, along with this profit, individual profit also, I am displaying the total profit. Now here you can see 55, 45, wherever you can see orange one. Okay, this one, right? So because of this size, it is not displaying. Yeah. Okay, now you can see this is also 145, and here also you can see 145. Means coming to here, for orange office supplies, that total sales is, total profit is 122,491. Now if you go to here, 122,491. For furniture, 18,451. For furniture, where it is furniture, blue, 18,451. Yes, have you guys observed the change? Now let me remove this one, profit. Now you can see this is the values. Is it clear? Now have we changed any like format, like have we changed the aggregation of this visualization? Sorry, like I forgot guys what I came to say. Yeah, are we changing the granularity of the visualization? Right, we are not changing anything. Yes, the values we are displaying here differently, correct? So this is how we can use the LOD functions. Means the main motto of LOD calculations is, without changing the granularity of the visualization, we want to display the values. You have to keep in mind only that sentence. Without changing the granularity, we are going to display the values based on whatever the dimension it is. Now the same way here, where is it? So fixed LOD, right? So now here, instead of this one, just let's just let me comment this one. Just here, let's see guys. So what I'm going to use it here, just sum of profit. Guys, let's see. It is also valid now. Sum of profit, just I mentioned sum of profit. Now I am clicking to apply. Now the values has been changed. So what it means? What is the sum of profit actually? For each individual, for each subcategory, it is showing same value. What is this value? What is this value? Any guess? Sum of profit, just sum of profit. What is this value? Yes, correct. But here, guys, so here, yeah, the answer is correct. But how this value is derived here? This value is derived here. Like now, here you guys can observe here, we are using category. So each and individual category, because in the calculation, whatever you can see in the calculation, we are trying to display, we want to display the data by using at the category level. So that's where in the fixed LOD function, category dimension we are using, right? Category dimension we included in the calculation. Now here, in this case, I have like, okay, let me do. Okay, don't get confused with this. So I'm going to use here. Fixed colon, sum of. Okay, now here also, this will also give same result. Okay, now just I clicked apply. Now you can see here the same value. So what is the difference between I have included category and I have not included anything. So what is the difference between both? How the values are going to derive here in this case, if I have not going to include anything. See guys, if you are not going to include any dimension, then what is going to happen is it is going to display the sum of profit. Sum of profit. Now in this case, let's go to sheet 6. In this case, if I will remove the category 286397, is this the value it is displaying here? 286397 means here, right? See, this is a total profit. If you'll go to your Excel file, so if you'll if you'll clear all the filters, then if you'll I'm going to clear everything. So if you'll click on the profit, now you can see here 286397.0, 286397. The same value you are displaying here means it is going to display the total profit. If you are not going to mention anything, the same thing, right? So sometimes if you are like, if you are going to work on the existing reports, for example, the customer asked or your manager asked you to change some logic in the calculation. Okay, when you will open the calculation, they have mentioned just like this, so you don't know what is it mean, right? It is confusing, right? So there is a no function, just flower bracket sum of profit. What does this mean by? Guys, whenever you can see in between colons, there is a sum of profit means it is by default fixed LOD function is applied. Is by default fixed. You can say fixed. Okay, now? By default fixed is applied. Just remember this one. So whenever you can see only like this, anything. So that is means it is a fixed sum of profit. Fixed sum of profit means why we need to use this one. Like for example, guys, so let me give one more example here. Now let me remove this one. Just let me add profit only here. Okay, let me add profit here. Now these are the different profits on each and individual subcategory. Now I want to calculate the percentage. Now how the percentage should be calculated means the customer, what he is expecting is like the percentage should be like, let me create here, like here category here. Okay, and here I am having total this one, right? Okay, now again let me add the subcategory actual. Okay, now here the customer is expecting percentage means, okay, this value divided by furniture total value. Okay, so for bookcases, for example, here we are displaying like bookcases, copiers like this, right? Subcategory wise. Now what he required is now minus 3000 divided by, for example, let me do here minus 3,473 divided by total furniture profit. Total furniture profit, what is this? 18,451. Here you can see, guys, 18,451 in the tooltip. 18,451. Now, actually, percentage means total, right? Total profit, generally. Now, the customer requirement is, and from furniture category only, he want to take the total of furniture, then he want to calculate the subcategory wise profit, percentage. Now, in this case, now what is this value? So here 18451 divided by 18451. So this is the percentage, minus 0.18%. So here in the bar graph, we want to display that value. So in this case, how we are going to calculate? How we can calculate this? Where? Okay, let me open this one. So before that, so what I'm going to do, just I'm going to drag this one as well. Okay. Okay, this is the function. So we are using total here. Okay. Now tell me what I have to write it. Here, percentage of profit, do we have any that kind of function? Percentile we have. Percentage is different and percentile is different case. Okay, percentage, both are different. Don't get confused. So I will explain the difference between both. Okay. So how we are going to calculate the percentage? Now here, as per the customer requirement, this value 55,161. Okay, let me do some here, sum of, and here I have category. I have to mention. Okay, apply. Now guys, so 55,000 divided by 145. This is the value we have to do. 44,516 divided by 145. Like this we have to. Like here, let's come to here, office supplies for paper subcategory 34,000 divided by 122. So how we can get this value? Now here, guys, simple thing. Here what we have to do? Here anyhow, we have already fixed the value, right? Category wise, we are fixing the value. That is where we are getting 145,455, right? Now, simple guys. So here what we have to do? Sorry. Here what we have to do, guys? So percentage. Yes, here what we have to do is sum of profit divided by fixed, right? Is it correct? That is what we have to do, right? Sum of profit means it is going to give in the visualization level, means 55,618 in this case. For example, let's take a copier. It is going to give 55,618, means here you can see sum of profit. Here you can see sum of profit. This is the label it is displaying here, the label value, and here you can see the aggregation sum of profit. So that's where you are getting 55,618, correct? Means as per our requirement, here 55,618, this one correct, and fixed category means category wise we are fixing the sum of profit, means 145,455 it is going to do. This right denominator, right? So this value you are going to get 145,455. Now here we are having a issue, the calculation issue. Now you can see the issue here is cannot mix aggregate and non-aggregate arguments with this function. It is telling you cannot mix aggregate and non-aggregate arguments with this function. So here, which one is aggregate function and which one is non-aggregate function? Which one is aggregate and which one is non-aggregate? Guys, here in these kind of situations, sum of profit is an aggregate function, and this is a non-aggregate function. This is a non-aggregate function. So these kind of scenarios, what you have to do is you have to use this one. Before this one, you have to use sum of. Now the calculation is going to be valid. Either both should be, the first one and the second one should be aggregated, or both should not be not aggregated. Either in this case, right, you can remove either this one or this one. But if we'll remove this one, what is going to happen, guys? This is going to be row level calculation again, right? So always you have to mention sum and you can aggregate this one as well. Okay, now let's click on apply. Now this one, right? So once you'll click on apply, now you can say here percentage means, guys, multiplied with 100. Yes, just click on apply. Now here it is showing sum, right? So because it is an aggregation calculation, right? So we have to remove this one and again we have to add it. Now you can see 38.2%. Okay, now if you'll go here, okay, now the simple thing, now here 38.2%. Now if you'll do the calculation here by using the calculator, now you can see here, let me open. So see, so here 55,618 divided by 1,45,455. Is it correct? Sorry, technology, right? We are showing 1,45,455. Yeah. So now if you click on equal to, now you can see into multiplied with. So then 38.23. So whatever we are displaying here, it is correct, right? This is how we are going to use fixed LOD calculations, guys. Different depends on the situation we are going to use. But here, guys, so just I have explained by using LOD calculations, right? But in these cases, right? So the same thing without using LOD calculations also, I will show you. Let's show you. Okay. So just I'm removing. Now this is what we are having. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is just I want to show one more value here. Okay. Now in this case, what I'm going to do is just I am going to right click on this, just duplicate this field. Okay, just duplicate. Now I am going to drag again into labels. Now you can see twice I am showing the same value. Without duplicating this field again, if you want to show the same value, it is not possible. So that's where I explained you like duplicate. One more thing I tried to explain it, that time I didn't remember. So now in this case, right, twice I am showing the same value, same profit, right? Now here, whatever displaying in the bottom side, 58,618. Now just simply just observe the screen. Just go to drop down, pick table calculations and percent of total. Just now you can see it is displaying 19.42. Now here, what I'm going to do is again, just click on it, compute using now here category. Now here it is displaying 100%. Now compute using table across table down category. This is fine. Sorry. Yeah, because we are not using here, right? Category we are not using. Oh, category we are using in color legend, then it should have worked. Oh, here we don't have pen, right? So that is the one. That is the problem. Yeah, guys. Here, here now you can see compute using subcategory I selected. Whatever the value we got by applying the fixed LOD, the same value we got it here, right? 38.2. So guys, so there will be a multiple. See, now why we haven't done this one? Why we went through only fixed LOD calculations, right? To explain how we are going to use LOD calculations, I used that option. But whatever the option I have used now, it is a table calculation. It is a table calculation. Now, guys, just be like that only. Now here 55,615. Now I am going to remove the category. Now I have removed the category here. Now let's see here subcategory I selected, but why it is showing 19.42? Because the category is available here all in the color property. Okay, here let's go back. Here the category is available, so that's why the calculation is happened at the category level. That's where now you guys can see here compute using, here you can see category is available. Now the calculation, right? So it is going to be applied on the each category wise, in each category, subcategory wise, it is applied. Now if you will remove this category, now this is going to change. Whatever you are expecting 38.2, you cannot get it by using this. Because, guys, so now the category here, directly or indirectly, the category is available in this visualization, correct? It is not affecting the visualization. But to show the colors, we are using category. Because the visualization is not changing, but we are applying the some color codes. So in this case, what is going to happen is the field is already present. So that's why we could able to achieve that one. But now the category is not available. In this case, we could not able to achieve by using table level calculations. Whatever we have done this one, right? This is another kind of calculation type that is called as a table level calculations. Table level calculations. Okay, so these table level calculations functions we cannot able to use in LOD functions. Means, for example, we are having few like table level calculations, guys. So for example, let me give one example. So here, whenever you will write any function, so index, okay. See now here, default table calculation. So whenever you will get this kind of thing, right? So it is a table calculation function, index and rank. So these are the table calculation functions. These table calculation functions, rank, index, rank, dense rank. So these are the different values, percentile or running total. Okay, so now you can see running sum, running count. So these are the table functions. So these table calculation functions we cannot able to use in LOD calculations. You have to remember that point. Okay. And one more thing, guys. So these table calculations, sorry, any doubt? Any table function, guys, any table calculation function, if you are not going to get, for example, here, sum, right? Sum function. Let me close this one. Let me create calculation again. So here I'm going to use average. So now you can see, guys, you are not getting table calculation option. Whenever you are using table calculation functions, then only you are going to get this option, guys. See, automatically it is displayed. Table, default table calculations. Now you use compute using automatic category like different ways. Okay, I will explain you this table calculations tomorrow. But till now, whatever I explained, is it clear, guys? Guys, writing calculation is simple, but you have to understand. Guys, first thing, just I will give one tip, whether it may be useful or not, I am not sure. But what I will follow is, if, for example, if I want to write any calculation, in Tableau, first I am going to divide into different parts. I am going to divide into different parts. First part, right? For example, just here, let's assume this is the calculation. Just I am going to take, okay, furniture cases. So this is a direct field. So this is the value I am getting. Now, the second point is like, I want to get this value. How I want to get, how I can get this value. To get this value without changing the visualization, what I have to use, I have to go with the first, without changing the visualization means you have to automatically LOD functions should come into your mind. So now I want to fix the value, means I have to sum up all these values I want to display here. So for that, what I want to give, I want to write a one calculation. That is, this is the calculation I have to write. Now, After writing this, now you can see, now if I will use this LOD here, now I am going to get this value. Now you can see guys, so let me, oh yeah, now let me drag measure names here and measure values. I will explain you guys this concept, so I haven't explained. So profit, let's remove. So measure names. So just edit filter, none. So profit rate, we are using profit and fixed LOD. So this is what, guys, now you can see. Now, as per my requirement, so I have a profit and the sum of furniture I got here. So now I'm ready to write a calculation. So now directly what I'm going to write is like sum of profit divided by fixed sum of fixed LOD. So this is what, okay, it is giving true or false. Okay, it is giving true or false aggregated. So I no need to edit. Sorry. Yeah, here already it is a Boolean values. It is giving us true or false. No. I think not true or false. Just let's go to format, number, standard, number custom. Yes. Okay, so this is how I am going to display. Is this correct, guys? The values here, percentage is not applied, guys. So now if you want to apply, so just double click on this. So this is a like, guys, so whatever I have written, this is a like ADA calculation. We will call it as a ADA calculation in Tableau. Okay, so ADA calculation means how we are going. These ADA calculations, I will explain you guys tomorrow, because ADA calculation is going to be present at this view level, at this worksheet level only. This whatever the calculation I have written, this is not going to be available here in the field section. It is going to be available in this view level only. And that too, one more thing, this is not a reusable field. This is not a reusable field. Whenever you will create a calculation by using this option, whenever you are saving, right, that is a reusable, means you can use this calculation in any of the view in entire workbook. This entire workbook, how many visualizations you are going to create, in all visualizations you can use it. Whatever the ADA calculation you are going to create, that you cannot able to use in different visualization. That is going to be part of only that view. That is a ADA calculation. To create ADA calculation, what you can do is you can double click on it. Now you can see whenever you will double click either on row shelf or column shelf or in this marks area or in this section measure values. In filter shelf, you cannot get it. In filter shelf, you cannot get it. Only either column shelf, row shelf, or marks card under measure values. So these areas you can able to double click on, you can able to create. Now, for example, for simple purpose, guys, just I'm double clicking it. Okay, just once you will double click on it, you can try to, like for example, category. Now I want to concatenate those. Okay, just simple, just add. So just equal to symbol. I'm going to add just a space symbol when after plus symbol. Now subcategory. Guess whatever you are going to get in the calculation window, right? It is going to give like what we can say these options, right? The same way in the other calculation also you are going to get. Now you can say once you will hit the enter button, it is going to be applied. Now you can see it is a concatenation function. See guys, this calculation, whatever you have written here, it is not going to be available here. Okay, this is a temporary calculation to this worksheet only. This is not going to be like available for another view. In if you want to use this calculation in another visualization, means in different sheet, it is not going to be available. Okay, this is up to this worksheet level. Is it clear, guys? Okay, guys, right? So just to go through this one, guys. So the calculation part is important. So whatever you want to write, like whatever the requirements I am going to give, right? So uh, you have to achieve by using these calculations only. Okay.